good afternoon, and good evening, depending on which part of the world you're seeing my video from. Welcome to Enuani Cultural Forum. And here, we promote the rich cultural heritage of the Igbo people. Daloni, you're welcome on board. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. If you just join us, what you will do for us is share the video to your audience, say hi, let me know somebody is here as well. Hi, good morning. God bless you, Ngozi, my brother. Thank you so much for your contribution. BT75. Your name is not showing, it's just showing numbers. Best lover, hi, how are you? It's nice to have you on board. Today we are going to be celebrating Igbo, Igbo achievers. Igbo achievers, Igbo people who have achieved so much in different fields of endeavor. In different fields of endeavor, Igbo people who have achieved greatness in different fields of endeavor. Oh, my brother, it's nice to see you on board. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Let's celebrate. My brother from Iseluku, please accept my condolences. As we are looking at top Igbo achievers, it will be very, very wrong for me not to acknowledge that one of our own, a highly respected Anioma Igbo man, a great son of Iseluku Kingdom, an entrepreneurial giant, a man whose success and dedication to his community spans decades, a great man of our time, Noel OJ, passed on yesterday. So this threw the entire Igbo community into mourning. So accept my condolences. Aini Neko Omeo, the death of our brother Noel OJ is truly something that affects every one of us, or that affected every one of us. He died at, I think, 74 years old. So let's celebrate Umu Igbo, all Igbo achievers, whether dead or alive. When we do so, good boy, when we do so, we are not bragging, but we are using this medium to steer other Igbo people towards greatness, to know that there is nothing too big for you to achieve as an Igbo person, irrespective of wherever you find yourself, irrespective of your field of endeavor. As long as you are an Igbo person, that unbreakable spirit of Onyi Igbo is in you, and you can achieve anything you set out to achieve in life. So let's begin by remembering our brother and renowned author, Professor Chinua Achebe, author of Things Fall Apart and so many other great books, whose works announced us as Ndi Igbo to the world. Thank you so much, my brother. God bless you. Okay, there are ways that you can actually support this platform financially. There are ways, but I had a challenge trying to share it. So let me see if I... Uh-huh. Okay, I've pinned your message, but I've thought about how can I Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to pin my account on the screen. Let's see if I can do so. Let's see how we can do so. Okay, so what I okay. Okay, so what I did is to put up my details here. If you look at the top right hand side of my screen, you will see my account details if you wish to send any sort of support to our work. A lot of people have supported us, morally especially. There's this one of my brothers, Morgan, who lives abroad. If anything happens in Igbo land, whether at home or in diaspora, he's the first to know, and I wonder how he does that. So he will send me a video. There's also one of our brothers in the Caribbean. All right, he has reached out to me severally. He usually provides me information. He's an Igbo person, but in the Caribbean. I think Haiti is where he calls from. We also have my brother MC Ndon. That's what he likes to be referred as. His name is, he's actually an Okole. He's an Igbo brother from Enugu State, I believe. But he has lived most of his life in Ibuzo, here in Anyoma. He supports us so greatly, especially surprisingly, because he will just call you and say, how are you? You say, I'm fine. You say, send me so person's number. So he doesn't just support us, he supports everybody that is involved in ihe ọbụla gbasara ndị Igbo. So please help me to thank him as well. So moving on, I have done what he requested, my brother from Iselugu. I pinned here my account details. So anybody who wishes to support us can see it up there and use it. It's a Globus Bank account, and my name is Onwade Ngozi Fortune. Today we are celebrating Umu Igbo. Let's begin by celebrating you who has helped this channel to come this far. This channel started as a joke, okay? So it's just for me to make a response to a post, and I did. And the video went viral. So I decided to henceforth look more into making videos. In the past, I am not the video kind of person. I do research, real-time research. That kind of research that begins with abstract. And after your abstract, you now go into the introduction, do your literature review, then you do the main body of the work, then you do your conclusion. That's the kind of research that I do concerning history. I'm currently working on one. And then I publish books. But this is a digital age. And in this generation, people are no longer just online looking for books to read. If you give them hard copy, you are wasting your time. The only time people request for hard copies of books that we have done is when they are doing a university project or an assignment in school. They will now call you, bros, do you have any book to recommend to me? Then we recommend books or we give out books. After their project, come, you will not see them again. But in interacting with us culturally like this, having a social platform where people can come and make corrections. I've learned more on this page than people think I have brought to it. There are some things I just thought it was just for us, the Anioma people. I never knew it was the same in every part of Igbo land. When I brought up the concept of a woman marrying a wife for her husband, I thought it was just our thing. I never knew it is practiced in far away Mbise and so many other parts of Igbo land, where a woman can marry a wife in her name and present to her husband if she fails to give birth. And then the woman can bear children for her husband, but in her name. That is Munyo. So there are so many things I learned operating this platform. So many things. Recently, somebody called me and gave me thorough education concerning the Ozo chieftaincy title. Because I had to know the differences between Ozo and Nze. He had to take his time to teach me that Nze is different from Ozo, Ozo is different from Nze. It took him time to do that, but he educated me very properly and I understood. Thank you so much, my brother. So I learned a lot from this channel as well. So I am as much a beneficiary from this platform as much as I am the one operating the platform. Because when you are open to learning, it is endless, especially history and culture. You can never know it all. What obtains in your place may be different from what obtains in another place. So on this platform, I have learned so much. And that is why I said, let me take this time out to celebrate you people, because there are people on this platform that are very thoroughly versed in history. They will take out their time and do a long comment. After reading it, you will just nod your head. You will know that somebody has really come here to comment. So I appreciate every single one of you for your support, for your contribution. Those who have supported us financially, I appreciate you. Some people like to go behind the scene and call you instead of to comment on the platform, but they are seeing your work. I also appreciate those set of people. Every single person here, the males, the females, there's a certain blessing from Imo State. This my brother Hood Boy, goes by the name Hood Boy, and this my Iseluku brother, always fairly constant. Anytime I come online, I will just see them. Thank you so much for making the year and our work quite simple. What we were doing was like a civil war. We were not trying to change history. We were just trying to get things clear. To understand that to be an Igbo man, you don't have to come from the southeast to be an Igbo man. My ancestors did not come from the southeast, and we were not taught that we came from the southeast. But my father never said he wasn't an Igbo man one day. Neither did our ancestors, whose names were all Igbo names, all, not some. And the world outside refers us as Igbo. This my Iseluku brother can attest to what I'm going to say now. They have a very ancient artifact in Iseluku called Esige's mask. The king, Oba Esige, presented it to the Obi of Iseluku, Obi Onibo, as a gift to him, which showed respect, mutual respect for a king of Benin to visit a king of another community and present his own mask. He showed he had respect for this particular king. If generations later, people from that kingdom begin to go to the other kingdom, sit among their subjects, then there's something wrong. So if the Obi of Iseluku sits, the Oba of Benin can sit beside him, because they are both kings of very ancient and very well-respected communities. So later on in life, in 1975, when the First Tax 77 was to hold, the Obi of Iseluku, Obi Osemene, was invited to Lagos with this same artifact, and the Obi of Ubuluku with another artifact called Ozominyaba. So when they presented the mask, they were okay. Iseluku mask is a bronze mask. Ubuluku mask is a bronze mask. Quinidia's mask is an ivory mask. But they are all of the same epoch. But guess what? the two masks from Iseluku and Obuluku were rejected. To make things even clearer and worse, to show that it was discrimination, the federal government of Nigeria molded a replica of Queen Idia's mask and made use of as a mascot, as a face of Festac 77. So when they treat us, when the outsiders treat us, they treat us all like Ndi Igbo. Why will we then in our midst begin to check, this one you're not properly Igbo, this one you're thoroughly Igbo, this one you're not so much Igbo. So, back to base. We are celebrating Ndi Igbo, and we started it by celebrating you, an Igbo man, in your own capacity. There are Igbo people who have not become famous, but they are doing very well in their family to begin with. In their home, they are providers. They leave the house very early in the morning, come back home late. Some don't leave the house, they work from home. But the bottom line is that they are providers for their family. One thing you can never fault Ndi Igbo for is being careless when it concerns their family. They take care of their family. Most women who are not Igbo, who marry our Igbo brothers, do so because they believe an Igbo man will never abandon his family. So, we Igbo people celebrate and adore and acknowledge family. We don't joke with our brothers and sisters. To even make you know how well the Igbo love each other, because some people think we hate each other. I saw a video recently of one young girl, Ibekwe. I've forgotten her first name, but she has followership, huge followership on Facebook. She was on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter insulting Ndi Igbo. What was her excuse? She says Ndi Igbo don't love each other, that they discriminate so much against each other, especially against the Ebonyi people. That if you see the way they will talk about Ebonyi people, it will look as if they are not Igbo people. I will just laugh. I don't know if that woman understands that David Umahi is from Ebonyi State. If you see David Umahi talking to other Igbo people, you will ask if he is also from Ebonyi State. The thing is this. Ndi Igbo malama njakere. We call it njakere. Madu mai njakere ya magwala. It is called throwing tantrums in English, I feel, if that's the correct description. We like to throw tantrums. Somebody can tell you, look at this one. Which Igbo are you? Oh, Ndi Anambra. You people are not Igbo. You are fake Igbo. You are from Benin. Now it is up to that man from Anambra or Onitsha to say, it is you who is not Igbo. Because we are the main Igbos. So that is just Igbo way of life. It is not aimed at discriminating against anybody, except people misinterpret it. If you go to any community, I am from Ubuluku. Okay, let me leave Ubuluku because that's the community. In Anyoma, this is my brother from Iseluku that is relating with me here very, very well. His community, Umwezi say, do not marry the people from my own family. They say our people are dubious because previous kings in my community have done things to end that description in the eyes of the people of Iseluku. So if we see tomorrow, we will now say, we don't like the way Iseluku treat us. We don't like the way we treat. There is always internally, even in a family, there are family members of yours that you vibe with. There are some that you don't vibe with. So that small internal differences that we have is not what will define us at all in any way. Some people are using it to define us, and the people wrongly doing so are Ndi Igbo. We have our uniqueness. Uniqueness in the same way that if an Ebonyi man finds an Abia man somewhere in Sokoto, they become like brothers of the same parents. If an Enugu man meets a man from a banker in Edo State who is speaking a version of Igbo language, they have become one. You cannot say this for a man from Kwara State who meets somebody from Ogun State in Sokoto. They do not bond that way. That way the Igbo people do. So let's celebrate our uniqueness, what makes us great, more than emphasizing on the little things that look like they divide us. Those things that look like they divide us cannot define us. those things can never, ever define us. The things that define us are stronger, are weightier, are more important than those little things that people say they divide. From a demand from one of my brothers, I posted my account details on the screen. I don't know if it's visible. If you're seeing these account details, please let me know. I couldn't comment here. I wanted to leave it as a comment, but it's displaying there on my screen. 20039799985 is a Globus Bank account. If there's any way you can support us financially, please do so. Don't hold back. What we are doing is born out of passion, but it requires finance to run it. We are running it as much as we can by the grace of God too. So let's continue celebrating Igbo. We have talked about our brother, Professor Chinua Achebe, a great Igbo son, whose works showcased us to the world. You know, by writing, you tell the world about yourself. We are not also forgetting somebody like Cyprian Ekwensi. In fact, Cyprian Ekwensi was my own idol because I write. Even if I have not become famous, but I am a good writer. Professor Chinua Achebe is great. But Cyprian Ekwensi is somebody I cannot easily forget because he inspired me. Inspired me in a way that he did not read literature in school. He did not study English and literature. He read pharmacy. And myself, I read biotechnology. I did not study literature in school. So looking at people like Cyprian Ekwensi, I said he's the one who authored the book Jagwanana. So I said, if Cyprian Ekwensi and the drummer boy as well, if Cyprian Ekwensi can do it, then I can try. So that was how I was able to delve into writing in the first place. Then there are prominent women like our sister, Catherine Acholono, Professor Catherine Acholono, a great writer. Aside from Catherine Acholono, we had Professor Buchi Emecheta, our sister as well. What's her name now? Now a professor, because University of Nigeria Nsukka has just approved professor designate, I should say, Professor Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie as a visiting professor in University of Nigeria Nsukka, and I applaud them for it. Okay, so for the people thinking this is a vote, yes or no, I actually didn't ask for a vote anyway. What I asked for is this. If you can support us, if it's convenient for you, send money to that account outrightly. There's no way for us to start calling account over and over again, and there's no means for me to post it and pin it there on the comment section. That's why I put it up as a poll. So we are celebrating Igbo. Our sister, Dr. Ngozi Okondri-Iweala, and her husband recently visited. And I think they are still around. They are in Abia State. There was a marriage ceremony of her son. But also, very importantly, they were able to commission a project. A project that is one in a million. A project that is novel, that is a pioneering project in this part of the world, in Igbo. The commissioning of solar-powered buses by the Abia State government, led by Dr. Alex Oti. So, while we applaud Oti, we also applaud our sister who came down all the way to show this support, and also to tell people that Igbo land is not a dead zone, as some people make us feel, or some people make the world to see. Some people make it look like Nobody travels down to Igbo land and returns home safely. So that way, investment in the southeast, visiting the southeast and all that became very difficult for our Igbo brothers who are in diaspora. People found it difficult to come home because they were scared. But seeing somebody in the caliber of Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala and her family live in Abia State for some time now, over a week, it will give people the morale, the boost to know that they can go home. Yesterday, I saw videos of Atoeze Nukpo with Governor Peter Mba of Enugu State as well. Our people are beginning to return home, and peace and security is beginning to prosper in Igbo land. Let us not abandon our home on the excuse that there is insecurity. Insecurity is something Nigeria has allowed to thrive. We will not abandon our home because of it. While mentioning Alex Oti, another Oti came to my mind. Her name is Nnenna Oti, Professor Nnenna Oti. She is the Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, Futo, my alma mater, because of Futo Kangara Akwụkwọ. So she is the person who stood firmly and resolutely, displaying rare integrity to ensure that somebody like Alex Oti was sworn in as governor, was declared winner, first of all, because you have to be declared winner. In the last general elections that held in 2023, so many people came up on the horse or on the wave of Peter Obi. They won elections and were sworn into offices. Some people were outmaneuvered, just like Peter Obi himself was outmaneuvered by greedy and wicked, dishonest politicians. But Nnenna Oti stood firm and ensured that somebody like Alex Oti emerged winner. He emerged winner, but in Nigeria, he would have been denied the opportunity to come on the saddle. But she announced him as the winner of the election. So I'm by this video celebrating Nnenna Oti, Professor Nnenna Oti, the Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Owerri. Another person worthy of celebration is a traditional ruler, Igwe Nnemeka Alfred Achebe, for how he has carried the Igbo traditional system and given it a new face. I don't know what the organizations are for this year, but last year, the first annual lecture on Igbo repository was held at Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka. The lecture saw the gathering of professors of history to look into and discuss the Igbo history and culture. That was a feat that hasn't been achieved in a long time or ever. But he was able to do so, gathering different kings, gathering different professors and leaders of opinions of thought to discuss and reposition the Igbo story. Because it is very important. Most people out there will say, they don't have history. Igbo people, that it was a Jai Crowder. Who do they credit as the one who created the word Igbo? When I look at all this ignorance flying around, I will just laugh. My hometown of Ubuluku is at least 1,000 years old. In that my hometown, we have communities that are as old as Ubuluku. We have quarters that are as old as Ubuluku. We have a quarter called Ogbe Igbo. Ogbe Igbo. A quarter where Igbo people reside. Ogbe Igbo. And the prominent deity in Ogbe Igbo is Ogugu. We call it Ogugu Abuedo because that Ogbe Igbo is in Abuedo. Ogugu Abuedo. So as Ogugu is in my hometown, Ogugu is also found in other parts of Igbo land. The same thing with Itime, because when you look at people's history, you study their religion as well. All right? So in studying their religion, you also find out that truly these people had similar religion in a way that we had Ogugu. There is also Ogugu on other parts of Igbo land. Even some quarters are named after Ogugu for protection. You will see Idumo Ogugu, Obo Ogugu, Umu Ogugu. That is just for Ogugu. Even if they have also demonized the word Ekwensu to mean devil, we also know that Ekwensu, Arobonago, and so many of them were deities. Amadioha, all these were deities. They were deified, but because of lack of proper word to interpret what the missionaries came with, these names were changed or demonized to mean devil. We don't have any word called devil in our Igbo pantheons. So we have evil spirits, spirits that Adomo, we have spirits that push people to do evil, not devil. We don't have a word devil. Thank you so much, my brother. So moving forward, I think I'm going to remove this because, as I told you, I am a novice on YouTube, right? I'm not very well versed or knowledgeable here. What has happened here is that I greet you too, Mepel. So what has happened here is that maybe because of this pool that I put up there, comments are no longer coming. So if you put a comment, I may not see it because of that pool that I put up there. I don't know if it's displaying my account details, it's showing there. But I think it has stayed there long enough for me to now remove it. Unless somebody wants to use it later, you can send me a message. Use through our bio. There's a link on our bio. Use it to send me a message on WhatsApp. I will drop my account details there for you. So I'm removing the account details now. All right, so I've removed it. So, my brothers and sisters, as we were discussing, we are celebrating Igbo sons and daughters. We are celebrating Igbo sons and daughters who have achieved greatness in different fields of endeavor, who have made us proud. Remember that last year and the year before it, a few Igbo teenagers from secondary schools went all the way from Anambra State, went all the way, the other group went from Abia State, went all the way to international science competition, and they won. Another Igbo son as well won the STEM Student of the Year. I've forgotten his name precisely now. STEM is Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. The STEM Student of the Year award in the United States of America was won by an Igbo son. There are so many greatness. There is so much greatness in Igbo land. Our people are great achievers. There are things that we have achieved that people can only dream of achieving. So when we see such things, we acknowledge them, we celebrate them. It is not only when one person from Igbo land goes to commit crime, we say, hey, Igbo people have started again. When we see them distinguish themselves too, in the areas that we would want to find them distinguishing themselves, let's celebrate them. There are so many things to celebrate about us. So many. What about our brother, Councillor Noha, who is representing a constituency in the United Kingdom? Very vocal and continues to let the world know that he was born and brought up in Abia State. And then he will mention the city of Aba. There are so many Igbo sons and daughters who have distinguished themselves. What about our brother Allen Onyema? So many people misunderstand Allen Onyema, and some people even try to bully him, especially recently because of the hike in the price of flights. He was also discussing the hike in the price of aviation gas and how he has strived to remain relevant in the aviation sector, where they have so much gang up. I listened to one of his staffs on Channels TV or Arise TV explaining how a test was conducted on her and cannabis was found in her system. She doesn't know how. Without showing her results to the management of her company, it was made public. She was also given sanctions. When she queried this, they asked her if she want to query this. Yes, she queried it because she knows there's no cannabis in her system. They started cutting corners. She explained it. I posted it as a video on my platform. So anywhere you see an Igbo man in business, there is usually one challenge the government throws up. It is not a conspiracy theory. It is not a conspiracy theory. This is the reason why you see people like Landmark have returned to Igbo land. And that is also why we are pleading and appealing to these leaders in the Southeast to make things good for our brothers who have decided to return. We're not saying give them a tax heaven, but ensure that you do not overtax them. Do not demolish their businesses. If there are papers to be obtained for erecting of structures, and there's a ministry that issues these documentations, when you issue it, ensure that that place is also marked for that kind of development. Not later years you come and demolish, although I've never seen that kind of useless demolitions they usually do in Lagos in the Southeast. I've never seen one Yoruba or Hausa person come out to say his property was demolished anywhere in Igbo land. When there was trouble in Anambra because of crisis in the north, and then our brothers in Anambra said the Igbo people should go, they were accommodated in Delta State, just close to Onitsha. They were still able to go to Onitsha and do their business and come back. So we have always been the people with a large heart among the ethnic groups in Nigeria. The Igbo are very accommodating because they are travelers. We say that no jembe nwilo. A traveler rarely has enemies. Because we travel a lot and we are well traveled, you will see us accommodating people of different ethnic backgrounds, irrespective of even the character that they put up. Because you will see people saying that, we are chasing Igbo because they are very arrogant, they are very pompous. Do you expect an Igbo man, because he's doing business in your kingdom or your community, to just suddenly become a Yoruba man? If he sees you, he will lie down on the ground and greet you. It's not possible. And lying down on the ground to greet people is not respect. When I recently saw videos of Ayodele Fayose insulting Olusegun Obasanjo, I understood that these people, tribe does not confer respect on people. It is upbringing. So we are celebrating Igbo sons and daughters who have made their mark in different fields of endeavor. There are so many of them. I do not have personal contact of people. I do not. But if you are close to any of them, tell them a platform called Enuani Cultural Forum celebrated them, and we are still celebrating them. We are celebrating Igbo sons and daughters. People like Ibeto, in spite of all the government of Nigeria did to make sure that he runs out of business, recently commissioned a seaport in One, somewhere in Rivers State. If I say Igbo land now, some will start shouting that it's not Igbo land. It's Igbo land. Okay? And it's very close to us. If you are carrying something from One to Onitsha, it's better for you, or to Aba. It's better for you than that you are traveling all the way from Lagos down to Aba with your goods on that very wrong road. So, if you are an Igbo son or daughter, wherever you find yourself, just know that you are loved, you are celebrated, and we hold you in high esteem. And we're also looking up to you. People like Zenko need to take a cue from people like Obi Kubana, who recently commissioned one of his real estate projects. I don't want to mention the name because they are not my sponsors. I don't have any affiliation with them. But this is thanking them for thinking towards bringing back investment to Igbo land. It is important that we, the Igbo people, begin to think homewards. We begin to bring development back towards our home. Please excuse me. We begin to bring development towards our homeland. When Igbo land develops, and grows, we all grow. There will be job available for our brothers and sisters everywhere. So if our people are gainfully employed, Igbo land will begin to experience both human capital development and then infrastructural development, which is what drives progress in a place. Lagos did not become the Lagos it is today in one day. It took time. It took hard work. It took dedication. It took investments, both from people who are from there and from people who are not Lagosians, especially our brothers, to make sure that Lagos becomes what it is today, that people are celebrating. And they are saying, hey, go back to your place. Go back to your place. So, before they start chasing us, let us think homewards and develop our region. Let us think homewards and develop where? Our region. Hello fans, I hope you were able to see the account details that I posted here. I hope so. I posted my account details on my platform so that you can use that medium to support us if it's convenient for you. So while still celebrating in the Igbo, I will not forget to mention people like Olauda Ekwiono. A lot of people argue where in Igbo land is Olauda from. Wherever he is from, whether he is from Abo region, whether he is from Abo division, whether he's from Anambra State, anywhere he hails from, he's an Igbo man. So we celebrate him as well for being able to write about Ndi Igbo. People like Chude Jidonwo, Dennis Osadebe, Oke Ndibe, Chika Onigwe, there are so many of them. Respected Hollywood actors like Uzo Adoba, who has won an Emmy. So many Igbo people all over the world. Great human Igbo achievers. So many of them like Philip Emeagwali. There are so many. Too numerous to mention. Ben Emong, Nigeria's pioneer artist. Ben Emong is a Nigerian pioneer artist. Ben Emong, he was born in July 14, 1917, and he died in February 1994. He was a premier African modernist and a pioneer who is better known as Ben Emong. He was an Igbo Nigerian painter and sculptor. He is the pioneer whose career opened the way for a post-colonial proliferation and increased visibility of modern African art. His works has been exhibited around the world. The Enuani crater on the planet Mercury is named in his honor. Wow. So there's something named after him on the planet called Mercury. Umu Igbo, I want to use this opportunity to thank every one of you I always like to thank every one of you who has, if my brother is asking, what about Anioma State? Anioma State creation is currently being discussed. You know, state creation is not one day thing. It will take its natural time, and then the constitutional processes that are supposed to be fulfilled will be fulfilled. No step will be jumped. That is why if they are taking their time, everybody understands, because state creation is not like in the military era where you wake up one day and announce that we now have a new state. When the new state Delta was created, a lot of people rumor, which is not far from the truth, because everybody cannot be saying the same thing and it's a lie. When Delta was created, it was just by pen that General Babangida's wife, who is our sister, Miriam Namaka, used pen to write Asaba as the capital. That was during the military regime. And then, as time went on, as democracy has now come, before you create a state, you go through the constitutional processes. They are still going through it. And right now, as it is, of course, you know what has happened, that there are lots of people in Western Igbo land who are not in support of creation of a Anioma state because of what they are benefiting from Delta state. They feel Anioma is the head of Delta state. I've said this severally. One of my brothers has called me. Yes, thank you. There are those people that have called me and we discussed and understood why they are doing what they are doing. If you don't want Anioma zone to the southeast, does it change the fact that we are Igbo people? Whether we are zoned to the southeast or not, we are still Igbo. So why stopping us from being zoned to the southeast if the slot is for the southeast? They have told you that this thing belongs to southeast people. Then you zone us to that southeast because we are Igbo people who by balkanization lost out. The Nigerian government, the British Nigerian government, were very smart. Very, very smart. What they did was, there was a war between Ndi Igbo. Because if they like now, let them be denying that they are not Igbo. All the way to Abudu, all the way to Ibanke, all the way to Owa. There was a war between Ndi Igbo of Western Niger, primarily, and Ndi Ocha. And it lasted for 32 years. I am not 32 years. Mbasho, iri atọ na abụọ, ka anyị na Ndị Ọcha nụrụ ọgụ. It's not a joke now. I am not 32 years is enough for people to say, is this how these people are? For 32 years, I can know. They blacklisted Ndị Igbo on the account of ihe ndị Western Igbo mere. Ihe Western Igbo mere maka na Igbo si n'otu aka weta mmanụ, ọ ga-emetụ n'aka niile. One finger brought that calamity. That is Western Igbo. Omesa aka niile, that is the Ekumeku War, my brother. And you wrote it the right way. Whoever wrote this thing is from Enuani. Whoever wrote this is from Enuani. And if the person is from Obunuku, rightly, or close to Obunuku, it is Ekumeku, not Ekumeku. Ekumeku is E-K-U, M-E-K-U. That is not the name. It is Ekumeku. Ekumeku is like a wild wind, a potent charm that is a wild wind. Ekumeku. I don't know how to describe it. Okay, let me use a very physical description of Ekumeku. You see those Roberto Carlos shots that he uses to score goals, those very powerful thunderbolt shots of Roberto Carlos, I can call it Ekumeku. Okay, so now you have an idea what Ekumeku is. It's a wild wind. That is the meaning of Ekumeku. And the headquarters of Ekumeku is Ubunuku. The virgin forest of Ekumeku is the first white person, So, to let you know how these people are smart, Ubunuku was sidelined. They established Baptist Secondary School Iseluku. It is older than all the schools in all the area. They established a colonial post in Ogwashuku, disregarded that Ubuluku. So they were picking the communities around it so that Ubuluku will suffer. In the end, when they finally gained entrance into Ubuluku and everybody surrendered, they established a secondary school in Ubuluku and named it Ekumeku Grammar School. It is the only school named in honor of Ekumeku. In fact, all the schools in Ubuluku were named then after Ubuluku heroes. Those that fought Ekumeku and those who fought before Ekumeku. We have Ekumeku Grammar School, Iago Grammar School. Iago is dedicated to the river Ago because it is that river that started the development in Ubuluku. Without that river that has a drinking water, nobody would have settled in Ubuluku. Iago Grammar School. Then we had Enuani Grammar School, Enuani Primary School, which is dedicated to the woman, a woman soldier who fought with them. She was noble. Then we have Idegu. That is the one you will see online, Idegu Otokbuike. We have Idegu Primary School. These were schools named after people who fought the Ekumeku War. So, who wrote this thing, Ekumeku? You are certainly an Enuani person. So later, if you hear me, you will comment. Let me know exactly where you are from, which community. So they don't want it to be zoned to the southeast. I don't know what their fear is exactly. But somebody was communicating with me lately and was describing to me, when I was small, do I not know how our parents used to refer to people from the southeast as Igbo? Yes, of course. I know. I know that after the Civil War, there were divisions. There were people who now started dividing themselves. We are Igbo, but we are not from the southeast. We are Igbo, but we are not from here. You are Igbo, you are Igbo. If you like, it's like saying, I am part of this body, but I am the hand. This one say I am the leg. This one say I am the stomach. You are Igbo, you are Igbo. Nobody cares which part. And the part you are from self is the worst part of Igbo land, the part that we are from. Because we tend to think and wear that toga of we are the good ones, the southeast is the bad one. We are the bad ones. If there's anything bad, Igbo Melo Ndi Ocha, Melo Nigeria, it is Western Igbo that did it. Ihe niile dị njọ ndị Igbo Melo Ndi Ocha na Nigeria, it is Western Igbo Melo ya. That one I don't have to argue about it. That's a war I mentioned so. 32 years of they are major soldiers that were conquering different parts of Africa. They conquered Ghana, moved down to Nigeria, and this place became a problem for them for 32 years. Each and all their back, they will just move on. They blacklisted Igbo and Igbo land. Even when they wanted to leave, they made sure they handed over to people that will ensure that will continue this suffering. And then you will see somebody from here saying, we are Igbos, but we don't want to be part of Southeast. It is Southeast that will even say they don't want to be part of you if it's possible, but you have already done the damage. If there's anybody to reject the other person, it is Igbo of the Southeast that should say, I don't want any business with Anioma people. If we are being honest, I am from Anioma. Because there's not one thing that you will mention that Igbo Melondia and Anioma. Not one thing. People like Colonel Joe Atuzia knows this very well. So that when those soldiers were trying to gain access to the southeast, he blew up the bridge. And they returned and started killing our people. Then you will see somebody from Anioma, you will say 1,000 people died in Asaba. 800 died in Ishaku, including their king. So many other people died in Ogwashuku. Millions of people died. Over 3 million people died in Igbo land entirely, not the ones that were in the northern region. Then you have the mouth to just blackmail these people because of 1,800 and 700 and 1,000. We're talking millions here. You are talking about thousands. Thousand. Because it's no more than 1,000 what happened in Asaba. We are not taking the life of anybody for granted, okay? But we are saying all lives are equal. If over 3 million people died in a war, you are using just 1,000 to blackmail the other side of the Igbo land. It's senseless now. So the people who don't want to be part of the South are those politicians in Delta and North who know that the moment we are joined to the Southeast and the state is created, they lose relevance immediately. Because if you know what they are benefiting in Delta, I don't know how to put it in perspective, but there's a video I will later share. Amadou Pinnick was granting an interview. Okay, he was talking about how Ahmed Musa went to the 2014 FIFA World Cup, how he was able to make the list. He said they had removed the name of Musa because he hadn't played enough matches for his club then. So he now insisted that the coach must put his name, that he doesn't like to interfere, but he told the coach that that particular Musa is his. He said in Delta we call it slot. I told the coach that that is my slot. So in Delta, there is something called slot. Those politicians have slot. That slot can be for commissioner. You nominate a commissioner. You nominate this. You nominate that. You will be getting this until the end of my tenure. That is how Delta has been back. And it's even up to the local government level. Money comes in, they have people that will share it to. They have gotten so used to this that they know if a new state is created, they are even scared saying Ned Nwoko wants to be governor. If he wants to be governor, let him rule us for 20 years, as long as he performs well. But there's no way he can even rule us for that long. If the aim of getting an Yoma state is for Ned Nwoko to be governor, he can't be governor more than 8 years. Of course, we have been wasting our time a long time. I'm in the same state with Isoko people. I don't understand Isoko. I'm in the same state with Urobo people. I don't understand Urobo. I'm in the same state with Ishekiri, Ijo. I don't understand these languages. But we're in the same state together. And so once they join us to Southeast now, we become Igbo man. Since I'm in Delta State, have I become Isoko man? Not to now talk of me becoming what I am already. If they join us to Southeast, you become an Igbo man. I'm an Igbo man already. Okay, they say, oh no, then they are not Igbo. Their parents came from Benin. Your parents came from Benin. Your name is Chukwemeka. Your name is Nwachukwu. Your name is Chukwode. Your parents came from Benin. You are using Ofo as your symbol of leadership and authority in your community. You are a Benin man. You use the 4 Igbo market days. You practice everything you do in Waji. There's nothing in the Igbo do that you are not very, very good or even better in doing, and you are not an Igbo man. How senseless can people be? How senseless can people just be? So my brothers and sisters, I'm using this opportunity to plead and appeal with us, to us. I'm appealing to us to please, please and please, if you are Igbo, remain Igbo. Support Igbo causes. Support only Igbo. Thank you so much, my brother, Fresh. He said 5 million to be exact. If 5 million people died in a war, you see people open their gutter mouth till tomorrow. I am a him in Asaba. We know what we suffered. How people died in Asaba. How people died in Ishago. How people died in. They are mentioning the ones that died here. What of the ones that died there? The ones that died in the north, Uncle? We were all victims. We lost. We count our losses together. Not some people to feel that they lost more than the other people lost. Therefore, there's no point coming together again. When you are the one who caused the problem that brought up, okay, you went outside, brought a fight to the house. People died in the house. You say, hey, you don't want to be part of the house again. Are you mad? So the people who are insisting and protesting, even when we held the protest recently, to show you how deeply evil this government can be of the day and the media space. That was why I called for support. There are many ways you can support this platform. If you are not the person that gives out financially or you don't have, support the platform by commenting on the post, sharing it, even subscribing. There are many people that will be begging here. If you see our views, sometimes you'll see 95% of our viewers are not subscribed to the channel. That is not encouraging at all. Some people just come, watch video and go, watch video and go, watch video and go, and hope that the person shows up the next day. It's not possible. It is how much you encourage the person running the platform that leads him to come online again. If the person feels he's not being seen or is not being supported, he will slow down. There's an Arawa page that usually insults Igbo on Twitter. I just saw that the person said he's going for therapy, that he's tired. Because there were people giving him fire for fire every day. So how much support and discouragement you get matters a lot. So I laugh when I see our brothers who do not really remember that it was Emmanuel Ifaduna, an Anioma man from Onitsha. He is a son of Ezechima. And Chukwemeka Kaduna Nzogu, another Anioma man from Okpanam, just 2 minutes from Asaba. If you know Asaba very well, once you pass ShopRite, you are now in Okpanam. You are no longer in Asaba. It's just because of conurbation. The two cities have merged and become a metropolis. I won't call it a megapolis because these are two small places coming together. So, Asaba and Okpanam is the same place now. Somebody from Okpanam caused, and somebody from Onitsha caused this havoc upon Igbo. That's the second one. The first one was brought upon us by the same Western Igbo kings, among whom some people began to withdraw, like you're seeing today. So, I find it very ignorant when people come out to say, I am Delta Igbo, or I am from Western Igbo land, I am Delta, and please don't associate me with Igbo, I am not Igbo. If you ask the person their name, you will throw up one English name because they are ashamed. Because they are ashamed to tell you that they are Igbo, but they are denying their identity. It's so nice. It has been a great honor and privilege sharing this space with you for the past 1 hour. I intend to go offline, but I want to plead with you. I want to appeal to you. That account details I shared earlier is our account details. Send money to it. Send a message to my WhatsApp. You will find my phone number on my bio and description. Send us a WhatsApp message. Let's acknowledge your contribution to the growth of this platform. If you also wish to be anonymous, we will respect that. Thank you to those who wish to support us. Thank you to those who have even supported us anonymously. Because there are people who supported us anonymously. There are people who support what we are doing. When we recently called for a protest, it was massive, such that Arise TV had to report it that this is the record number of people. Deltans recently trooped out in their large numbers to protest against what they call being zoned to the Southeast. And I said, what? Our protest was that we want to be part of Southeast. And Arise TV was there, not like they sent them the news as a copy. They sent a correspondent. He covered the news. He saw the placards. He listened to our interviews, went back home and they relayed the different news. This is to tell you the gang up. I am not somebody who pushes out conspiracy theories, but that one was very clear. Very clear. You attended a protest. You saw what the people were protesting against or for. And you just deliberately decided to read the wrong news to the public. That is what we are coping against. That is what we are up against. And these people have millions of followers, millions of subscribers as well. So let us grow our own platforms. And I have appealed to Igbo who have the resources to invest in media. There's no better way to push a people forward than to create a platform where their identity can be preserved and their heritage projected. Let them have a sense of direction. If you think media doesn't matter, go and check how many people who started from media work. Is it your Bafemi Awolowos? Is it the Tinubu that you have today? Is the owner of the media firm. The media is so important that they don't joke with it. People like Dele Momodu are prominent in Nigeria today because of media. People like Raymond Dopesi until he died. People like John Momo, the owner of the Channels TV, are still prominent because of media. Ndoka Biden, who twisted our news from Owa, is an Igbo man who has identity issues as well, I think. If he doesn't, why will they treat us that way? We held a protest to Delta State Government House saying we want to be part of Southeast. And the turnout was 10 times, what is 10 times? 100 times what they brought out to come and say they don't want to be part of Southeast. So they saw that they have been outclassed and outnumbered. And then they decided to twist the news. And a station like Arise TV made itself available to do such a hacked job. I felt really embarrassed by their approach, but there's nothing we can do other than continue to appeal to you, who is an Igbo man, who loves Igbo culture and tradition, who believes in the advancement of Ndi Igbo, to please share our videos, subscribe to our channel, and support us financially. If you can't find the account details I posted earlier, go to our bio. You will see our WhatsApp number. Send me a message. If I see it later in the day, I will reply you. Thank you for being part of this very particular broadcast. I will look forward to seeing you some other time. My name, as usual, is Onwade Ngozi Chukwuka Fortune, and I will look forward to seeing you in our subsequent videos. Thank you so much for being with me for this 1 hour, 5 minutes. Bye. Do have a very, very pleasant day, and I wish you a very happy new year ahead.